Hi guys, Dr. Wendy Dearborne here from Food Beyond Its Nutrition with another recipe called Bourbon Garlic Glazed Carrots.
Okay guys, here's what we need to create this absolutely simple dish of garlic bourbon glazed carrots. And of course you can double this up, you can treble this up. I have actually 2 carrots here, and they're 2 kind of medium-sized carrots that I've chopped, and I've chopped them quite large. I didn't want it small, so I've chopped them quite large. I like my carrots to be al dente. They don't have to be maybe tenderish, but I prefer them more on the crunchy side. But anyway, to make this dish, of course, you need garlic, and I have 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. And literally this is chopped. It hasn't been put through the press, the garlic press. I wanted a bit of texture there. I have 2 tablespoons of whiskey, or bourbon, somebody's whiskey bourbon. I've got 2 tablespoons of bourbon. I have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and I have approximately, that's about 1.5 tablespoons actually of chopped parsley. And again, I've got my carrots, and I have some butter, and I have some avocado oil. Now, when you actually make this recipe, it can be made with 2 pounds of carrots. Again, I used a couple of medium-sized carrots. If you double the quantity that I have here, or treble, you'll actually wind up using something like a stick of butter, or so the recipe calls for. So okay guys, let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to get a pan, and we're going to heat up the butter and oil. And I have a pan, and all the carrots should just kind of fit into this. It shouldn't be too crowded. It won't be too crowded. So I'm actually going to put the butter in, and I have 2 tablespoons of butter there. And for me, for those of you who know me, this is actually quite a lot of butter. My preference is to use something like avocado oil, but this recipe really does benefit from having butter. It actually really brings something to the equation. So, and of course, this isn't something that I would say that you would eat every week, maybe, you know, 3 or 4 times a year. I'm going to put in maybe about 1 tablespoon, and this will stop the butter from actually burning, which I really don't want it to burn. All right, I need to turn this down just a little bit. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. All righty. And it's starting to bubble. It was also starting to smoke. And I'm actually going to add all my garlic and let that cook for a little bit. All right. So I'm going to let the garlic cook for a little bit with the butter as it melts out. Take off that raw edge. And so we allow the garlic to cook for about a minute or so. Till it becomes really nice and fragrant. You really don't need and or want any browning on the garlic, although if that's something that you like, you can definitely brown the garlic off. All adds to the texture and it adds to the flavor. But I'm going to add the carrots. See, and this pan is just right for that. I'm going to add the carrots. I'm just going to toss that around a little bit, and I'm going to turn the heat up slightly. I'm going to turn the heat up slightly, and I'm going to allow that to be tossed for a few minutes. And then what we're going to start doing is cooking the carrots, so that kind of in essence start browning the carrots. We want them almost to start browning on the edges, and that's what we're looking for, yeah, to be browned on the edges with the garlic. Nice. So we're going to let that do its thing. We're going to add some salt, because one of the things that salt will do when you're cooking is, one, it will draw out water from your vegetables, especially when you're cooking it like this. And I also believe, and this is just my theory, but it also helps to draw out the sweetness, yeah? So we're going to let this cook. I'm going to turn it down ever so slightly and allow the water to be released from the carrots. So it almost looks like it's going to be stewing in its own juices. So I'm just turning the fire down. Okay guys, and as you can see, the carrots are actually changing. They're getting, I will almost call it like a blistered look. And the garlic's browning really nicely. See, it's almost like it's starting to brown on the edge there, if you can see that. Right here, around the edge, it's starting to brown almost. And so what I'm going to do now is I am going to add the bourbon. What I would suggest is that you remove it from the heat. All right, okay. So you turn the heat off, add your bourbon, all right, ooh, and that's what you get, okay, it'll do a bubble thing, and I'm going to turn it back on, ooh, see guys, and that's what, that I said, ooh, see, it caught, the bourbon caught fire, and that's why I actually removed it. There you go, and that's how you deal with that. Okay, and that'll be nice. That'll give it a nice toasted thing going on. But you have to be careful, guys, when you're using alcohol and a flame. You really do have to be careful. All right, always have a lid handy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to let this cook off for about 2 to 3 minutes, and again. But that smells really, really good, guys. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper, and then we're just going to allow this to caramelize down a little bit more. I'm going to give this maybe about 2 minutes or so. And then we're going to continue on by adding the sugar. I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Okay. Mix that in. Let that melt. And the process will definitely start to caramelize. And you can make the syrup as thick and or as thin as you like. So this has maybe about another 5 minutes. All right, and so we'll come back in 5 and finish this off. The carrots are just about done. I mean, they're tender. They've definitely got some bite, as I said to you, which is the way I like them. You've got this lovely garlicky sauce. Yeah, this is doing it for me. Some people like to add cinnamon, cinnamon to theirs. I'm not feeling cinnamon. Here's some parsley, loads and loads of parsley. Doesn't that look pretty, guys? Loads and loads of parsley. We're going to turn that, stir that over. Alright, I'm going to turn this off. Alright, and we're going to trade places. How about that? We're going to trade places. And we're going to put this into a bowl. I'm going to put this into a bowl. Alright. We're going to pour this sauce on top. It's garlicky bourbon sauce on top. We are going to sprinkle a little bit more, just a tad of parsley on top, and a few spring onions. Just a few spring onions. Yep. And that, my darlings, is a beautiful, a really nice side dish that complements anything. So let's see if we can get a tighter shot on that. Yes, indeedy. Absolutely delicious. Garlic, bourbon, glazed carrots, just for you.